Welcome to my Amsterdam movie review. Let's talk about Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift will be gifting us her 10th studio album in a week and a half. And I love how she was in about 13 minutes of this movie. How ironic. I wonder if she was actually in it for only 13 minutes because 13 is her favorite number. Oh my god, because she dies, and spoiler alert, in like the first part of the movie and she doesn't come back. I thought she would have came back in like a dream sequence or like a flashback, but no, she was too busy to film any other parts. But let's see. This movie was, let's start off with the rating. I would give it about 5 or 6 stars out of 10 because it is not a movie made for the general public, but it has a big enough budget to be played in movie theaters all around, at least this country. I don't know about world, which some independent movies don't have. So this movie, I'm guessing, is along with Don't Worry Darling. I don't get why or how these movies are like being played in general movie theaters. Is it really easy to get a movie in the movie theater? Or is there just so much space now because everyone is watching movies from home on streaming services like Netflix, HBO, and stuff? That it seems like there's a lot of space for movies to be played in movie theaters, but this movie was made more for an older audience, I would say, or an audience that is intellectual in the movies they watch and what they want from it. In the sense that this movie, okay, I'm gonna tell you my first judgments of the movie because I didn't really like the movie until it was over. So, my first judgments while I was sitting down was this movie was written by a white man or white people that are predominantly men. Because what kind of movie does a straight man, want to watch? They want to watch a timepiece, an American timepiece about veterans, about Americans, and they want to see sexy old cars, and they want to see glamorized, idealized way of doing drugs and cigarettes. There wasn't really cigarettes in this movie, which is interesting because I think cigarettes were not part of the American culture until after the 1940s, after the 1950s, and this movie was based around the 1930s and before. So that was very cool that they were smart about what objects they use, technologies to make a timepiece. Because imagine making a movie in like the 1950s and you have like products placements in the background or from like the 1970s. It like takes you out right away, right? So that's a good job for them. Let's see. But from what I was saying before, this movie has certain tropes that give you the nominations for awards. Like, it is going to be referencing wars, and it's going to be referencing American veterans, and it's going to be referencing and kind of showing us a movie version of an actual event, in a sense of, remember the Jackie Onassis movie that Natalie Portman did, where she done like a exact replica of the real events in a movie form? That doing that will get you the award or will get you a nomination if you do it right. Like, I haven't watched this movie, but I want to watch it. It's Dorothy Dandridge's what's her name, Halle Berry. Did she do like a exact replica of Dorothy Dandridge? I want to watch that. Or like Ana de Armas in Blonde. She done exact replicas of an old film, especially film, because film audiences love watching replicas of old films. Like they love that shit on camera. Like, let's see, what's a famous thing? Like, this is coming to mind. I know it's a sad event, but do you remember Ariana Grande's One Love Manchester? If you were to recreate that on film later on and do a replica, because I'm thinking about big, huge pop culture movements that made a big shift in the world, and her event kind of like made a big shift. And do you remember Christina Grimmie and her lack of security and her lack of security and hope in mankind was like tested, because if it wasn't for her situation, and okay, her story was that she had, I think, a meet and greet or meet up with people, and someone came up to her and shot her. I think that was the story, right? And if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have had such high a more emphasis on security for concerts and for celebrities. With Ariana's thing, that caused a huge, especially for her concerts now on, a huge upheaval and a huge importance on security and protection for people and for artists. But if someone were to create that moment scene by scene from the actual real life version of it, it would probably win an award, because it's like art loves imitating life, but they like imitating super popular like moments of time. And this movie had one object of it. I had a few objects of it. I tried to find the undertone of this movie and I couldn't find it. I don't know if it didn't have one, but this, you can usually tell the undertones. Like Don't Worry Darling had the undertone of idealized America, of sell yourself out for everything good in life. For as like it had like it tried to have like a scary undertone to it. This one, the undertone was very, we had a lot of money to make this movie and we had a lot of A-list movie stars in it. It felt like you were watching a movie that had a big budget. And I don't know if it was needed, because it was nice to see a lot of good actors together, but at some points during the movie, it felt very, we got together with their friends and we're playing dress up, which is nice to do, but some people play dress up way better than other people, and I guess that's what makes you a good actor. Some people in the movie were just very like playing dress up, and then there was like your movie stars like Christian Bale and my favorite at the moment, Margot Robbie. Whatever she does on film, I think it's because I think we as like a collective have a remembrance of old female movie stars, and they have a certain look. They have soft features, short hair, and intense eyes. And Margot Robbie has that naturally, as like with when she's not even in movie roles. So when she does do the movie thing, it's like she's a movie star. But is she good at acting? I don't really know. I haven't watched her in that much stuff. Or does she just like look like what we think good acting was? But she has it. She has that soft Scorpio face with those intense big eyes. It was cool to like, I don't think I've watched a Margot movie. Oh, okay. I watched her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as she played Sharon Tate's role. But she didn't really have a big emphasis in that movie. In this movie, she had a bigger emphasis. So I just got to like enjoy watching Margot Robbie, which was like nice. If she wasn't in the movie, it would just be a male-dominated movie. So her role was needed. I hope, and she probably didn't, maybe she did, got paid the same amounts as all the other actors in that movie, because her role as like a female in the movie is so important, and you always, if you have too many males in a movie, it doesn't make it, it doesn't ground it, and it doesn't make it feminine. Like, Batman needs his Catwoman. If not, you're just gonna be watching a super intellectual, super boring, super mental movie, in a sense that you need to have him remember love, and a female represents love. I don't know if, and also in real life, but in film, the female represents love and, I think, spirituality, because the man by himself can't make life on his own, like literally can't make life. So on film, if you just have a bunch of males and just males, it's not, to me, I just don't think it's a good movie, because I like females better. But I don't know. I think females are more important than men. Oh my god, let me show you my female friend. Yes. But that was my review, and just talking about the movie and what was around it and what I observed from it. And I encourage you to watch any movie and do a review on it, because half of the time you're not even going to be talking about the movie, you're going to be talking about your past, America's past, your future, other people's futures. Like, I'm making a movie review right now, and I'm talking about the ways movies were filmed and how much money it seemed like this movie was filming. So I think if you were to do a movie review too, you would end up talking about a whole bunch of other things. That's what I like about reviewing stuff. It makes like your perspective important. And sometimes other people don't make your perspective important, so you have to do it to yourself. But it was kind of fun to watch a period piece. Would I give it more than 6 stars? No, but I don't think I was the targeted demographic, or maybe I was. But I went with my cousin, and I asked her, we were talking about it, and I said, what did you think of this movie? Because I think this movie was trying to be marketed as a blockbuster. And then she said, well, I don't think they hit that, because there was no one in the movie theater. And that made me laugh, because there was no one in the movie theater. But it seems like this movie was marketed as like a blockbuster. But peace out for me. If you watch this movie, let me know one of your thoughts about it. And rip Taylor Swift. Bye. Never walk Cornelia Street again. And baby,